I have come to realize within the whole discussion of like self and my relation to other people as women, and I will bring up this discussion because it is just reality. As women, we are often defined by our roles rather than who we are. And I realized that even that discussion of motherhood and wanting a family and wanting to be a mom or a wife, I was still living my life as a role towards somebody else. I wasn't living it from my own point of view. I was building up a life, even like in my early 20s, where I was like, oh, I have to make sure that I pass down, something good for my lineage and all of that. And it's like, I still am living for somebody who isn't even here yet. Who am I in the meantime? Who am I in the midst of this all? Because if my identity is solely rooted in who I am for somebody else, once that position comes into play, if it were, um, you have no self once that leaves. So if you're a wife, if you want to build up your life to be a wife, what happens if your husband dies? What happens if he cheats and leaves, or something happens and that relationship is no longer? You don't exist. What happens if you want to be a mom? What happens if you want to be a mom, you build yourself up to be that, and then you have a child or you don't for whatever reason? What happens then? You don't exist. You have no self. You have no self identity. And I realized that in the last few months of my life, where I was like, I think everything had to happen in a way that it did for me to realize that that is not the life that I'm meant for. If motherhood and all of that comes into play at a later point in time, I will let the universe take care of that. That is no longer in my it is in my peripheral vision, but it's no longer in my, main kind of goal area anymore in my life. And I've decided that over the last week or so, that kind of reality, that future vision, I don't know what to call it, I will leave that with my past self.